When compassion is linked to a particular condition, the compassion and the love is bounded by that condition. That condition could be a particular person, it could be a particular object, it could be a particular idea, it could be a particular activity. And so the condition bounds the compassion, the extent to which the compassion and the love can stretch towards. Most of these conditions, when looking at them, they're very deeply rooted into the character, into the ego, deeply rooted in the story of who we think we are. And so to have and experience boundless compassion, whereby wherever you look, there is just compassion, there is just love. In other words, you become love. We have to unidentify with whatever is the source of the conditions that may be placed on compassion and love. We have to rest in a boundless place. We have to identify or unidentify with anything so that we may rest in the sense of being that is boundless. It's not bound by space, it's not bound by time. Only then, when there is compassion, the compassion itself becomes boundless, not bound by space, not bound by time, not bound by conditions and categories. And so if we allow ourselves to observe the source of conditions without excuses, are we able to experience boundless compassion and boundless love. And you have reached a place of boundless and an unconditional love and unconditional compassion even when dealing with hatred, even when dealing with things that are painful, suffering, compassion and love still prevails. And this is where it can get controversial to some people. If there is anything that you feel like you shouldn't have compassion towards or love towards, then that in itself is a condition deep-rooted in the character, in the personhood. If you feel like there shouldn't be compassion and love towards someone like Hitler, then that in itself is a condition. When there is compassion and love, however, it does not mean that there is an agreement or a disagreement, because once again, agreement and disagreement is part of the story, part of the character, part of the ego. You may very well still be in a state of unconditional compassion when dealing with something that you may disagree with. But that's only if you are working from a place and being in a place that is boundless. And so once you are in this presence, this boundless presence of who you are, compassion then permeates everything. Wherever your eyes land, wherever you feel, wherever you hear, there is just compassion that comes before it. Unconditional love, unconditional compassion. This is a possibility for every human being, if only we allow ourselves to open our heart. And opening the heart is not really something that you do. What you do is let go of valuing the source of the conditions placed upon what you should or shouldn't love. And that naturally opens the heart. If there is a sense of hatred or grudge in your heart, then that too needs to be reconciled with. There needs to be forgiveness. If someone's hurt you, you forgive them and you have mercy on them for your own sake, for your own heart's sake. And so you loosen and reduce the weight and the heaviness in the heart by mercy and forgiveness, which creates space for compassion and love. And eventually you may randomly find yourself feeling a sort of expansion in your heart, an expansion that has no reason, that has no ultimatum, has no condition. You feel this expansion in your heart and you feel this love radiate outwardly and also inwardly. Because we can also have hatred and grudges towards ourself, aspects of ourself, which may be rooted in the character or the story that we think we are. And so if there's any aspect that you do not like about yourself, if there's a particular habit you want to get rid of, a particular thought pattern that you want to change, allow for love to be present in all of these situations and conditions, internally, externally, until there is no internal and external more. There is just love and unconditional presence. Like this, connecting, being involved, feeling more deeply, meaning, profoundness. These things are all byproducts and are effortless to experience. They say that God has unconditional love. One particular way in which you can know God or know the truth is for you to embody the characteristics of God. Therefore, if you embody mercy, if you embody forgiveness, if you embody unconditional love towards all creations, towards all that appears within reality, then you will know the truth. Love itself can be a powerful fuel to propel you towards truth, if this is something that you've been seeking for years. This is also why there's such a deep emphasis on gratitude. Gratitude creates the space for love and compassion. If we allow ourselves to be grateful for the things that we even don't have, if we allow ourselves to be grateful for the things that we do have, that we take for granted, we create space for a deeper sense of gratitude. And then there's an opportunity to be grateful for the opportunity to even be grateful and feel gratitude. And then there's an opportunity to feel gratitude even towards the sense of being. It's a perpetual spiral into love and compassion that one can allow themselves to rest into. This creates an unshakable space of compassion and love. You may feel this when you are alone, and eventually you may find yourself around people or around a particular activity which may distract you away from this love or this deep, unconditional compassion. But we want to still remain in that space of love and compassion regardless of what we do, regardless of who we are speaking to. People may immediately even notice that, hey, you're in a good mood. How come? Why are you in a good mood? You know, people are conditioned to have reasons for their happiness or unhappiness. But there doesn't need to be a reason. You may experience unconditional love, boundless love. You may feel one with everything through this love. Whenever love is involved, there is unity involved. And so if your love is boundless, you find yourself in the oneness of reality, in the oneness of existence. So you may find a pathway into this love and compassion through a condition to begin with, if you like. If you haven't eaten all day and you are about to finally take the first bite, or you are extremely tired because you've had a very long day and you are finally able to just sit down and relax, before you do, create space for a bit of appreciation, a tiny sprinkle of appreciation, and just close your eyes and rest in that appreciation. Become that appreciation. And eventually that tiny sprinkle starts to overflow within you. And this overflowing sense of appreciation turns into love and compassion. And eventually it expands your heart. And this is a physical feeling. You can feel this physically in your heart. And eventually, you open your eyes and it's still there. And you realize this love is not there because I am about to finally sit down after a long day. It's not there because I'm finally about to take my first bite after being hungry for the whole day. It's not because you are meeting a person. This love and compassion is wider and more expansive than the usual reasoning as to why I may feel this in my life. And then allow this love to anchor you in the presence, to anchor you into your sense of being. Everywhere you look, everything you touch becomes love. Everything you say becomes compassionate. Even the tone of your voice changes, even the way you view reality changes. The source of your being is love, in a way. There is no conditions for this. Nothing needs to happen around you. Nothing needs to happen within you. Allow yourself to just feel a tiny speck within your heart. Allow this speck to sprinkle and eventually overflow and expand into existence, radiate into all of existence. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. If you really enjoyed this video, I recommend you watch this next one. This is Hassan from the Spiritual Walks, and we are on a journey towards the truth.